Oh, me crabs. Oh, 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 oh.
And just like that, me holiday blues are gone. She finally went and did it. Tamina wins a proper WWE title. Everybody, come on in here. Let's have a dance and let's set the Tamina train away for one final time, because finally, 11 years later, it has reached its destination. While I go for a run, here is a new thing that is similar to an old thing, but it's got a new name. Wow! Woo! And down we go, and it's John O'Clock, you bastards! Get in there! By God, he's getting crunk, Maggle. And rumours have it, by the way, while Booker T wanted to get crunk, JBL actually wanted former WCW tag team Chronic, but made a mess of saying their name. I'm sorry, Miss Braxton. Oh, are you for real when you say the big Willie Tony has a chance to swing Roman Reigns out of his position of being the head of the table? Tony using his head to get rid of Roman Reigns' other head, if you know what I'm saying. Ooh, misses. That's a different kind of swinging, man, Ross. Sorry, kids. Sometimes I forget I'm watching the wrestling, eh? What am I like? He's at the bloody double. It's John O'Clock, everybody! Imagine saying you haven't seen a world champion as dominant as Roman Reigns when you're sat there kicking things on the Kickoff show for a show that includes Pamela. 380 days Pamela held that SmackDown Women's Championship for JBL. You massive peen-arse. Put some respect on her name. And then we hear Stinky Pete asking how many World Championship matches has Roman Reigns been in. He tells us 39. And then he asks, how many has Cesaro been in? Well, last night it would have been 1. That, by the way, everybody, was a direct quote from Stinky Pete during that Kickoff show. So naturally, I was asking to myself, what the hell was Money in the Bank 2014 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship thinking? And more to that point, Ross Twaddell, what the hell was the 2014 Elimination Chamber match for that same title thinking as well? And most importantly, Stinky Pete, I need to read this out because it's so utterly monumental. What on earth must have WWE Live Road to WrestleMania tour match for the old big gold World Heavyweight Championship against Alberto Del Rio? What would all of those matches, Stinky Pete, what would they have been thinking? Not much, because those pay-per-views do not have brains. He is the United States champion! And now a stripper? He's dirty, Sheamus. What a dirty boy. And then we hear all of the commentators say the Celtic Warrior, he won that match quite convincingly, but still, Trevor stole his hat and his coat and he dabbed, yet Sheamus was the one who was humiliated. Nah, no he wasn't. To be honest with you, everybody, Ricochet was the one who was embarrassed there because he was being a cringy bastard. And I would know because I am one myself. Losers match, losers shot at a shot for the United States Championship, dances with a hat on. You're a loser, Ricochet. You're a loser. Cruella de Flair. Cruella de Flair, a singles title match, she makes them rare. Why the hell does she need to be in everything all of the time apart from WrestleMania? Cruella de Flair.
Adnan.
Then Adnan claims that last night's match at WrestleMania Backlash was Rhea Ripley's third championship match on pay-per-view. Well, Adnan, NXT is on the same level as Raw and SmackDown. You know that's exactly what Triple H was saying when he spat out his steroid juice. He doesn't drink that, does he? Oh, when he spat out his herbal tea after hearing what Adnan had to say there. But just be careful, Adnan, okay? More of that stuff there, and Triple H, he will want to shovel your ass.
Adnan.
And then we have Adnan rather curiously saying that Charlotte is the most experienced professional wrestler in a match that also involves Asuka. And I honestly have no idea what to say about this one, Adnan, other than that's a failure.
Adnan.
Direct quote from Adnan this time. Is that jingle getting old yet? I hope not. It's only just started, hasn't it? But he said last year at Backlash, Asuka was the Raw Women's Champion, losing to Nia Jax. Now I checked Wikipedia, as you can see right there, and Wikipedia says a double count out, and who am I, quite frankly, to doubt Wikipedia? It's the best, man. You always know you're getting the best source of information because anybody in the world can edit it. Fantastic. Now, as we all know, a wise lady once said, "Charlotte, what are you doing?" Whoa, I fell over. Now I'm saying it right here, right now. Charlotte, man, what you doing, eh? So she kicks Asuka, and she's on the apron, and while kicking Asuka, she falls to the ground. Yet despite delivering a maneuver and not taking a maneuver, Charlotte can't get back into the ring in time to break up the match-winning pinfall. What happened, Charlotte? I'll tell you, and that's a fail.
Do 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 do. SmackDown packed, SmackDown packed. What was the line that you just spat?
It's Robert Patrick, it's Robert Roode. Bobby Roode is a completely different human being altogether, Patrick. It is Robert Roode. And this is where the night took a complete nosedive. Fresh from watching all 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, seriously, that's what it does to you. Look at the state of me. This is because of Monday Night Raw. We see the Lumberjacks for Damian Priest versus The Miz, otherwise known as, by the way, the superstars who don't get used by WWE each and every week on television. You're wondering what they're doing? There they are. But those former WWE superstars who are now zombies, remember, are zombies. Zombies who can tear open human flesh, rip off a head, eat a brain, but they can't work a bastard door. So thankfully Johnny Drip Drip was there to open the door for the really, really thick zombies, and oh my god, look, it's Buddy Murphy. Hello, Buddy Murphy. More on the zombies in a bit. Now, just in case you weren't aware, that is the back of Jimmy Uso. That's not Jey Uso, by the way. That's not even Roman Reigns. Don't you dare even start thinking there, young Timothy. I can see you, young Timothy. I can see you thinking that might be their father Rikishi. No, it's not. Jennifer. Louise, I can see you thinking there, Jennifer. That might be Mrs. Uso, their mother. But no, stop. I can confirm that is the back of Jimmy Uso. That camera there was locked on that back for a really, really long time, and it was weird.
Adnan.
So we see some more zombies, okay, walking through the backstage area like nice zombies do. We cut back to Adnan, and Adnan says the following. Maybe this makes a little more sense because WrestleMania Backlash is sponsored by some film. And just so we are clear, everybody, the zombies in the wrestling, we all know they are completely real. Look at Miz, look at Morrison, look at the commentators all running away from the really real zombies and not actors from a film. Why would Adnan say about the film and then run away from the zombies? Adnan's a fool. And of course I stand here in front of you right now conflicted because after seeing some silly bollocks in the wrestling and knowing how I love silly bollocks in my professional wrestling, Undertaker, Kane, they were things for bedtime fam in the professional wrestling. I'm just conflicted because that was naff, wasn't it? It was on the wrong side of naff and silly. It was naff. And by the way, the people justifying that bollocks from last night's show by saying, well, think of the money WWE made. Well, let me tell you, everybody, look at the record profits WWE were making in the midst, by the way, of a global pandemic and before zombies were even a thing. Well, those kind of zombies, Undertaker, the ECW zombie, other zombies, they have had zombies, but not those zombies right there. They're fine. They don't need more money. But I was sitting there trying to be a wrestling journalist or something like that, and I got to thinking, what is the definition of kayfabe? And here it is, straight off Google, which means it's got to be true. Kayfabe is defined as the fact or convention of presenting stage performances as genuine or authentic. And I was thinking, yeah, that is the definition of kayfabe because that's how I choose to present this very series. I treat the storylines and the actions of the professional wrestlers we see on the television there as real. Because of course, in storyline, they should make sense as if they were real, just like any television show, just like any movie. But then you see stuff like that, former WWE champion The Miz running away from a zombie because, you know, he presumably thinks that zombies are real. We need to start treating WWE like we did Lucha Underground. And that's because stuff like that there, it makes series like this completely and utterly redundant. Because now more than ever in the history of professional wrestling is its own thing. It's got its own rules. It lives within its own world. Anything goes, man. To scoff at the fact that former WWE champion The Miz Miz presumably thinks that zombies are real and therefore sees fit to run away from zombies before getting killed by the same zombies. It's silly. It's silly to have a go at that thing actually being a thing when that thing exists in a world that is different to ours. Take me back to the days when people like The Rock, first name The, second name Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, first name Stone, surname Austin, when they were real human beings and what they did mirrored exactly what we would do in real life because, wrestling was real and all that stuff, wasn't it? Yeah. But let me know what you think down below. Should we treat WWE like it's Lucha Underground and everything that happens on WWE TV happens in an alternative universe kind of ting? But of course, while we're here speaking about the Lumberjacks, credit where credit is due, because the Lumberjacks, the brain-dead zombie Lumberjacks, somehow knew the rules to a Lumberjack match in WWE and adhered to those rules wonderfully, perfectly. How did they know? What a load of crap. I think Johnny Drip Drip is about to go bye-bye, said one of the commentators nonchalantly, as one of their co-workers was eaten by some zombies and therefore murdered and therefore killed and therefore will never ever ever be heard from again as Johnny Drip Drip. And then we saw Damian Priest doing his Archer pose thing as his co-worker called The Miz and rival, so I guess it's acceptable. He hates his guts and now those guts, they live inside of a zombie who ate those guts. It all makes sense, I tell thee. But anyway, Damian Priest was doing his thingy while The Miz was also being murdered. And I know we live in a world where Randy Orton burned a man alive and therefore came out as the noble baby face or something like that. I can't remember. That was bare time ago, fam. But still, Damian Priest, Raw commentary team, have a heart, will ye? People died last night, man. But to that point there, Ross Twiddell, once again, I'm speaking like I'm on a WWE Kickoff show. Have you noticed? If The Miz and John Morrison do not turn up to tonight's Monday Night Raw as actual living zombie men, then that documentary that I love with all my heart called Shaun of the Dead will be proven to be a lie. Because as we all know, if you get bitten anywhere by a zombie, you then turn into a zombie. Don't be fake, WWE. I guess this is what we get for being horrible to Batista all the way back in 2014. Batista, you blue prick. Oh, we only have to wait until June for a Hell in a Cell now, everybody. Yay! It used to be October. Oh no, wait there, everybody. Because as we all know, Hell in a Cell should not be reserved for 1 month of the year. It should be the culmination of the most bloodiest, the most severe feud in all of WWE. When I was a wee bairn, back in my day, it was the most severe stipulation any wrestler could do in WWE. If Hell in a Cell got whapped out, you knew that was the worst stipulation any WWE superstar could do, and therefore a blood feud could not go any further. Why did that have to change?
SmackDown Pat, what was the line that you just spat?
Direct quote from SmackDown Pat now when he said, I believe she is saying, kiss my ass. And it would appear that SmackDown Pat is both a gentleman and a scholar. Because quite frankly, I felt like school was in session and I was attending actual wrestling university when he said that line of insight right there.
SmackDown Pat, what was the line that you just spat?
SmackDown Pat to AEW confirmed. Oh. So first off we had Ole, said the Young Buck as Bianca Belair dived out of the way of a flying Pamela. And then soon after we heard SmackDown Pat say she's better than you. You know it. Just picture the scene, everybody. Those two lines from commentary last night at WrestleMania Backlash. It's a bar. One end of the bar is Tony Khan. Other end of the bar is SmackDown Pat. SmackDown Pat is fluttering his eyelids harder than any lady has ever fluttered their eyelids before. And Tony Khan might bite, he might not, who knows? Does he like SmackDown Pat? What I'm trying to say is, everybody, that was some serious flirting from SmackDown Pat. Will Tony Khan have a nibble? Who knows? That is really big, sweaty man Braun Strowman doing a flippin' cannonball senton thing off the apron to the floor and almost beheading himself in the process. Ah! That's what the monsters do, isn't it? I guess you could say the thing I've written down there is more of a WTF moment. Let me tell you, this new title is going to take some getting used to after 5 bloody years. But then we must ask ourselves, everybody, sit yourselves down and ask yourself the following question. When does a WTF moment become a fail? I'll tell you, Braun Strowman's big, shiny, chrome-domed, big, baldy bastard heat being half an inch closer to the floor than it is right there. Braun Strowman, you mad man. Those bumps you were taking in the midst of that fantastic big sweaty men meat-slapping fest were absolutely silly, and all the more power to you, bunny lad. Maggle, 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 maggle. Over the course of one Roman Reigns entrance, Maggle Cole went from calling Cesaro experienced, he's been here for 10 years, guys! My voice is dying on its arse, to calling Cesaro, that same big-willied man, an upstart, which is the opposite of an experienced man. Now, I know that some of you might be saying that Ross Maggle was saying that Cesaro is experienced at doing the professional wrestling, but inexperienced at being in world title matches. But he didn't say that before the example I've written down there, therefore that can't be true. I like to believe that Cesaro is Benjamin Button, but on roids.
SmackDown Pat, what was the line that you just spat?
Dun 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 dun. What was the line that you just spat, SmackDown Pat? I don't know, Jeff. For large portions of that match right at the start, SmackDown Pat's microphone, it didn't bloody work. And I was just thinking, poor Pat, because I bet that Pat was saying some wonderful things, because already SmackDown Pat, in my humble opinion, is a wonderful, wonderful commentator. I love SmackDown Pat, me. He is good at the commentating. So I do believe, everybody, that is it for every single fail from WrestleMania Backlash 2021. As my voice box, it begins to fail. How fitting. But I tell you what, I thought you'd take the zombies out of that bloody pay-per-view last night, why they had to be there. I do know why, because it's cross-promotion and stuff like that, but it was crap. It was awful. Stop it. You take the zombies out of that show last night and I had a bloody ball. I thought it was a fantastic night of professional wrestling action. A nice variety show. Something for everybody, but it was all entertaining, apart from the really naff zombies. Get them out of there. Let me know if I missed anything down below. I really hope I didn't. I've been Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic Wrestling. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in 5 weeks. Or on the podcast on Friday, or on a voiceover very soon.